So there I was telling you that I'm using up all my fabric and I'm not going to buy any more, and I told a lie, because I think it was when I got back from my holidays I suddenly decided that I was babysitting, and when you're babysitting you can't get your sewing machine out because you can't do anything. You've got to look after the children, and every now and again you will sit and look at your phone or look at your computer when they've gone to bed. And so I started looking at Minerva crafts, and I joined Minerva crafts at the start of the year, so you get some discount off when you buy the materials. And I thought, well, I haven't used it very often, so maybe I should. And so I bought some fabric, and the fabric that I bought was this pink army fabric, which is very thin. I got about 3 meters, and I've just made a top with it, and I think I'll go on to tell you about that in a minute. At first I thought, oh golly, don't know if I want to wear that, but what I did was I turned it that way, and I've made a top that way. I just thought it might look a bit better that way, with being, my mother always used to say, try and wear, when you've got a bottom, wear stripes going down rather than across. And I know they're not stripes, so I thought it might lie a bit better and look a bit better, and it actually, I think it does. The other thing that I got, I also got this fabric, which is a jersey, polyester jersey, and I think I got about 3 or 4 meters of it. It's a lovely jersey. I'll have to be careful about the placement of the flowers though, because I don't want to place too, I doubt if it'll happen, but if I turn it sideways, I definitely don't want to have 2 flowers precariously balanced like that. But that's it's nice. Again, it's when you see it, I thought, I was wondering if it was a bit too big a pattern, but I'll find something to make with it. A lot of fabric there, so I'm going to have to make more than one thing with it. I think was it something like £5 or £6 a metre, and so it was fairly cheap for what it was, so I thought I'd treat myself to that. The other thing that I thought I'd buy, and in a sense I'm wishing I hadn't, because well, I bought a £9.99 bag of Lucky bag of jersey, and the £9.90 Lucky bag was definitely not lucky. I've actually used one of the pieces. I got a little, they give you up to 5 meters, and it could be a piece that's 5 meters long, or it could be 5 pieces that are 1 meter long, or it could be 2 pieces that are 1 meter long and the rest of the pieces are half a meter. And this, so I think I got probably one in the bundle, only one thing I liked. The rest I wasn't enamoured by. I did get an oatmeal jersey, half a metre of oatmeal jersey, which I haven't got here to show you, because I actually used it to line the inside of a sports bag I made for my grandson, and I'll put you a picture of that up there. I actually bought the Star Wars, he's keen on Star Wars, and I bought the fabric in Newcastle, in a fabric shop just outside Newcastle, and he loved it. So I thought, well, I made the outside part. I didn't use a pattern, I just did it all from basically out my head. I didn't even cut a piece of paper. I just thought, oh, I'll do this, 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 and I need a bit like that. And a rapidly put together sports bag for my grandson, who's 5. He's moving into a new class this year, and he wanted a different sports bag. He loves Star Wars, so this is a Star Wars one. It's got a little flap on here, a Velcro flap, which I put on, and it's got a drawstring top. It's a drawstring top, it goes like that, and then you can close it. And then on the back I've put 2 little arm straps so he can carry it on his back if needs be, and a little hanger, because I thought Mummy often has to carry it home and she can hook it onto the pushchair because she's got a little baby as well. So I just felt that might be quite handy, and also for hanging on the hook at home, on the coat hangers at school and at home. So there's his little Star Wars sports bag. I also got a metre of this, which is white, what I would call quick crimply type jersey. It's a jersey, knitted jersey, and it's lovely. But if I make anything out of this, it'll be black in 5 minutes. That much. And it would probably make a pair of trousers, but I just can't see. Every time I wear white trousers, within 5 minutes they're black. So I'll have to think of something that I can do with that. Then they gave me, what colour fabric do I not like, ladies? Green. I got a metre of bottle green. So we'll have to think of something to do with that. Actually, that wouldn't be too, they're the wrong thing. I mean, that's quite thick and this isn't, but that would go nice with that in some way as a form of trimming. But it's a metre, so I'm going to have to find something I can make with it. I might make a top with it, even though I'm not a green fan. It's apparently on my colour palette, so I should really wear it. And then this is where Minerva did. It's very nice giving me a bag like that, but they've given me two things that are almost the same, and I couldn't fathom out why. I felt that they could have at least done an assortment. I got a metre of this, which is like it's the kind of stuff you'd make underwear with. It's bright, it's like a primrose yellow. I could make a petticoat or something with it, or I could make could use it to make some bras or whatever with it, but there's quite a lot of it, which is nice. I mean, it's not bad. It's primrose yellow, not a colour I would have bought if I was selecting any fabric, but I'll make some use out of it. But then they gave me a metre of this, and believe me folks, this is Day Glow Yellow. Day Glow Yellow. And that, even though it's Day Glow Yellow, it's not far different from that. So wouldn't you have thought that at least stick maybe a metre of this in and a metre of a different colour, rather than put two colours that are very close to each other? And what on earth I'm going to do with Day Glow Yellow? I don't know. I could make a petticoat with Day Glow Yellow. And out of the whole of this bag, only one fabric was the one that I liked, and it's only half a metre, and that was this one. I thought it was a lovely colour, but there's only half a metre of it, and it's that one. It's like the army pattern again, camouflage pattern, but it's in a purple, and I thought that was lovely. It's a purple jersey, cotton jersey. If that had been a metre, I would have loved that. So I'm going to have to find some use for all of these. If you have any ideas what I can do with Day Glow Yellow, and oh well, that'll definitely probably make underwear, primrose. Probably a sweatshirt with that, and maybe hold on to that till next year and make a pair of white trousers for the summer, and hope to goodness that I can keep them clean. You will, in this vlog, you will see a top that I've made, which is, and it wasn't in my late summer pattern haul. This was the one I got, I think it was last year, just over a year ago, and I was going to sell it, and I pulled it out to sell it, and then I thought, no, hold on a minute, that's a bit like those tops I've been making earlier on for the summer. That I'd copied from a one that I bought from a supermarket, so from Sainsbury's I think it was. So then I thought, right, I'll try it, and this, I tried it. It's a Butterick B5954. Don't know if you can see it from there, B5954, and the one that I decided to do was this one here. I'm not so keen on the overlap. It's got like an overlap on there. It's got kind of a piece of fabric that covers it, but I thought that I tried that one. In fact, no, I didn't. I did that one. The one I did was this one with sleeves, and it was done with that pink army fabric. The rear view, just to let you see which one I did. Which one did I do? View B. View B was the pattern that I did, which is that one. That's quite a nice one, and I like that with the collar, but I don't think I would do I think I would do it with this lovely cowl neck collar, but I don't know that I'd bother with this bit. I'll probably do that with a cowl neck collar. I think that would look quite nice for the winter. So yes, that pattern has not gone for sale. It's I've decided I'm going to start using it. So when we were on holiday, my husband bought a jacket for the granddaughter, for his granddaughter, and he was absolutely stunned at the price, which I said, well, they are, though that in particular make is expensive. And but then I said, well, at least you've got two granddaughters. When the oldest one grows out of it, the younger one can wear it. If they're anything like my granddaughters, my 8-year-old granddaughter still likes to wear the clothes that she had when she was 5 or 6, but they're getting higher and higher up her leg. Before they used to be like mid-calf, now they're getting kind of above the knee, but she still wears them. But the reason why I'm showing you this is it's by Desigual, and if you know Desigual or Desigual, they're a very expensive make. I think he was looking for something. He said, I don't want to spend that much, I don't want to spend that much. And I kept saying, well, don't. I wasn't going to get anything, but he likes to buy something for his granddaughters. So he said, well, I'm not sure I want to spend that much, I don't want to spend that much. And eventually he did, because he kept going back to these two items. One was a little t-shirt for one granddaughter, and the other one was this. The reason why I'm showing you it, I'm busy fastening the buttons up, is that I thought, when I saw it, I thought, this is really good. You could do that with any jacket that you've got. It's a little jacket, a bit like a denim jacket, and what they've done is they've added fabric sleeves, which are jersey, with the jersey cuff, and the fabric stretch jersey sleeve, which is quite nice, and it's a white canvas. But look what they've done here. They've added some Indian ribbon to it, to one side, Indian ribbon to the lapel pocket, and Indian ribbon just to one side here at the front, at the bottom on the cuff. On the back it's totally plain. But so I thought, I shall show you what I thought. Change of me, no makeup, nothing. I couldn't find this, but I found it now. This is a denim jacket that I bought from a second-hand shop, from a charity shop. I wear it with dresses most of the time. I wear it to go with dresses. It's stretch denim, which is quite nice because it can close. If I wanted to close it, I can close it. But what I thought I might do is do something very similar to that little jacket. I might put some bits of embroidery on say the bottom, and on part of the sleeve, part of the lapel or the pocket somewhere, and just lighten it up a bit somehow. And I just thought I'd try that. So watch this space and I'll let you see what it turns out like. Change of clothes yet again. This is the t-shirt, the shirt that I made from the French fabric that I had. Put little splits in the side, and the pattern that I used was this one, the new Look K6216. It's meant to be for a stretch fabric, but I just thought I'd make it with this cotton, and I've just with some of the fabric I made a bias tape to go around it. I put bias tape around the neck, and I did the same around the sleeves, just so that it was, because it wasn't stretchy fabric. I'm going to put my coat back on because it's cold. We're heading into winter again. This is not a made one, it's a jerkin that I bought. It doesn't go with the black trousers that I've got on, but it's so cold. It's a weird fish one with a hood. But look at that, isn't that rather nice, the way that the hood has some lining fabric like that. It's jersey and it looks quite nice. Anyway, I also did with this, I made a top and some trousers, and I've been using up the fabric that I've got, lots of fabric that I've got, the stash, and sadly recently I've spent a lot of money on more fabric. Naughty girl. Anyway, the trousers have pockets and little tie belt. You can have different lengths. I did the long ones. I might shorten them later on, maybe it's next year when I wear them, but I did the long ones. And the fabric that I used was some striped polyester jersey, which is meant to go that way, but I thought I would do it and make it go lengthways. Now this will probably make your eyes go funny because it's very narrow. And the reason why I did this was I happened to see that some of the fashions are for striped trousers going down that way. And as I was using this up, I thought, well, I might make something like this, trousers like this, just to, you know, to use this fabric up. I used just an ordinary strip of this. I haven't finished it at all because when you pull it, it goes stringy. And I've put that inside. The only thing that the waistband is sewn on top, and then I've got little buttonhole holes there so that the tie can go through. The only thing that I would change or possibly add is put elastic inside there, because it's very nice having this tied, but it sometimes feels like it loosens. So I would put a bit more elastic in there. Now, they fit very nice, I'm very pleased with them, but I did make an adjustment with the pattern, and I'll show you the adjustment that I made. I basically measured my body from my waist front down to my crotch line, and my waist back down to the crotch line there, basically where the inner seam of your trousers is. And then I measured the pattern. And if there was a difference, which there was in my case, I had to put a little, open the pattern up and put a little piece in there. And I'll show you the piece that I did. I actually did it on both sides. The pattern, this goes down to the crotch here. And I found that I really should have had about 2 or 3 inches. That's how much I put in here. I cut across and then I put a wedge in. About 2 inches there, and I went down to about 3/4 of an inch there. Or if you're doing in centimetres, 2 or 3 inches is about 5 to 7 centimetres, and here about just less than 2.5 centimetres. And by doing that, it gave me more length on the bottom, so it compensated for my bigger bottom. So that's how I did the back, and I did the same with the front. And for the top I had some black jersey, very thin jersey. I expected to be a bit, it's one of those things where you buy them online, you can't feel them to see what they're like, and when it came, I kind of was a bit disappointed because it was a bit thinner than I wanted it to be. It was more of a very fine t-shirt material, and at first I thought, oh, what am I going to do with this? But then I decided I would make a top to go with the black trousers, and the top was exactly that top with the short sleeves. And I have a habit sometimes of buying buttons even though I don't know what they're for, and the buttons that I bought were these stripy and black ones, spotted ones. So I suddenly thought, oh well, there's a stripy pair of trousers, how about incorporating those buttons onto a t-shirt? I couldn't decide where to do it, so I made the t-shirt and I decided I put the buttons diagonally down the front. So this is a black t-shirt I've made to go with it, and you'll see the picture of the video up here of what it looks like, and with the buttons on here. Yeah, now when I first made it, it was a bit big, and I've since taken it in and I feel a bit happier with it the way it is. I think I did about an 18 or 16, and then I found that I had to take it in a bit, and I took it in from the arm, under the arms down there to the just above the waist. I tapered it down. What it turned out like. I made the army pattern material go down way, and this is some fabric that I got from Minerva Crafts. I got quite a lot. I've still got loads left. It was same thing when I got it. It was very thin and femma. I don't know if you can see right through this nearly. It is a bit thin, but because there's a lot of it, and because of it's a mixture of colours, I don't think it shows through as much as if it was a completely plain colour. That, I like that. I thought, and when I finished it, I thought it was quite nice, and you'll see a video here of me wearing it. I just thought it was, I like the way it has a longer back to the front, and it covers all those bits you want to cover. I just turned it over, I just turned the neck over, and the same with the sleeves. I turned the sleeves over. I turned that one over twice, and I turned the sleeves over once. Turned them under once rather. That one I will make again. I was very impressed by it. I think I'd make a slightly smaller size again. A lot of people say, when I've told people about patterns, they've actually come back to me and said, that's a great pattern, but it does cut big, so make it smaller. And that one I would say, for me, it did cut big, and I think I'm going to have to make it smaller. And that one, I think it did cut big, so I'll make it smaller. Now then, do you remember I made that pattern? And do you remember that I bought some green fabric? There's the green fabric. And I said I was going to make it for a wedding. I was going to make a second dress. The first one was a toile, and the second dress was going to be for a wedding. Well, I never got to the wedding because husband took very ill. I think he was very ill for 2 weeks really, so I had to miss 2 weddings. And we guessed that the problem was that he'd inhaled spores from the air conditioning in his car, and it made him very ill. He finally recovered, but we had to decline going to the wedding because he wasn't in any fit state. But so I never got to make this dress until about 2 weeks ago, and I made it 2 weeks ago, but I made some changes in it. And the changes are that when I made it, I decided to sew it all the way down the front. And then I did a satin lining bias binding round the neck, and because it was, I used one piece of bias binding and that wasn't wide enough, so I ended up joining 2 together by sewing 2 together and then folding it over. So that's actually one piece of bias binding, and that's the other. This is a bias binding I'm putting around the neck of the dress. I just thought it would quite set it off. I actually put the black bias binding on right side to right side, and then I realised that I really hadn't enough room to turn it over. I could have turned it over, but it would have made it like that, and I wanted it to see the black. So what I've done is I've sewn another piece of bias binding towards on the other side. I've basically sewn 2 pieces of bias binding together, and I've used green thread so you can see that. 2 pieces of bias binding together. There's the little flat bit, and then I've folded it over, so I've actually got bias binding on the inside and bias binding on the outside. And it means that when I come to doing the V at the front, I should make a better job of the V at the front by doing so. Now what I wanted to show you here is, this is my favourite tool for unpicking, is this one. And it's just a pointy tool, pointy needle, very thick pointy needle with a handle on it, and I want to unpick the stay stitching that's there. And basically what I do is I do that, pull it, and then I go further along and pick it up there, pull it, pick it up there, pull it, pick it up there, pull it, and then I can probably pull quite a bit like that, and that's unpicked quite a bit of thread there. Oops, there's some more stay stitching thread there, along there, running along there. It's obviously the same colour, so I get underneath, pull it, go further along, catch underneath, pull that, and basically by doing that it makes life easier than unpicking one piece at a time. And then I get the other bit at the back and pull that, and that's a great big long piece of thread that I've managed to unpick. See if there's any more areas that need to be unpicked. There is around here, there's a piece down there, so I get my needle under there and pull, and then my needle under there, pull, needle under there, pull, and then I've got a piece of thread that I can get a hold of and pull it. There we go. And that is how I take my thread off. I rarely use a stitch unpicker. I prefer to use that, and then if I need to cut anything I just use a small pair of scissors. So there you go. And then I did the little V at the front, and just to accentuate it a bit more, I made the pockets black. I did a trimming on the pockets, and I put black buttons here. Oh, sorry, I'm going to trip over my chair. I will show you a video of me wearing it. I made the sleeves longer. I made them down to 3/4 length sleeves, and the back should have had the panel with the gathering in. You know, I said last with my other dress I didn't like the way the gather was because it made my bottom stick out even more. Well, I didn't. What I did was I was going to put the piece in. I made the piece smaller, and then when I came to doing it, I thought, oh, I wonder if it might fit without that piece in. So I did it without the piece in, and it did. And look at this, I've still got a good bit of fabric, almost a good half circle. So that is the dress without that back piece in, and so it looks, I think, you know, it looks equally as good. However, I don't know if I like the pattern. It looks lovely on here, looks lovely on there. Of course, again, she's thin, she's tall. The blue one's the one that catches your eye. When I did the sleeves, when I joined the sleeves onto the bodice, if you look there, obviously they're off the shoulder, which meant that if I joined the sleeves to it, the sleeves were going to be really off the shoulder, and it didn't look right. So I had to cut some off the shoulder here to add the sleeves on, and that kind of made my darts be very close to the edge of the sleeve. Not a big problem, but once I've got it together, I tended to think it looked very old lady-ish. And I didn't know, I just, there's something about it, I'll wear it for work, but I just think it's, maybe the green, it might be because it's green, maybe if I'd done a beautiful blue like that and it stood out, it would be nice, but something about it, it fits beautifully, it hangs beautifully, it wears beautifully. My husband thought it was lovely, but there's just something about it, I just don't, it's not ringing all the bells for me, let's say. So I will wear that, but I won't be making another one. Sorry, I'm sitting on a stool. I'm actually sitting on my drum seat stool because I've got a drum kit, and it's creaking and making all sorts of noises. So not so happy about the way the back is. It seems to be quite high, but I had to put a little dart in there in the bias there and there. And I've managed just about to get that V right, but look, guess who used green thread? Not good. Not good at all. Big black buttons. I had to reduce the width of this. Pockets are quite nice. Not so happy about the way can you see where the sleeve falls here? But I've actually taken about that much off. So if I had put the sleeve on there, it would look absolutely awful, I think. I like the way it's sitting. Well, it's not even sitting on my shoulder. That's probably about where that fold is where my shoulder is. So I'm actually about half an inch or 1.5 centimeters off my shoulder there. But it does feel a bit better. But because of that, these folds tend to pull across a bit more. It's fine. I like it. It's fine, and I like it. I shall wear it for work. And do I like green? Army green, yes, I like army green, but I'm just not sure about army green on me. I think that had I should be looking there. I'm pleased that I sewed the centre seam up rather than having it overlapping with buttons down. I'm not a person, I did do that for I think I sewed up my love shirt dress. I did the same thing more or less, because when you've got a big boob, when you've got a big bust, you pop out a lot. So I just figured that was a bit nicer. And I can't remember who it is kept saying you should wear V-neck tops because they're just flattering. So I've done one. A V-neck dress, just to see. As long as, the thing is, you see, what you do is, when you're up here and you look down, you see cleavage. But when you're looking there, there's not too much cleavage, so it's not too bad. Well, I've got a cat outside who's meowing, so I think it's probably time for me to stop this video and start again next time. So until then, catch you next time. Bye!